nearly ran. It did run over me. It ran over me. Right, I got ran over by my own car with nobody else in the car. Hello and welcome to the Red Line Republic, very first episode. My name is Badger,
and I'm Dan.
Yeah. Anyway, so as you won't notice yet. You'll notice later in the video. We automatically, just like this, switch clothes.
Yep. We
switch clothes. We're drinking different drinks, and the mics are in different positions. The camera is probably in different positions as well because there were, what would you call them?
Some audio gremlins.
Audio gremlins in the first part of the video, which were recorded on Friday night. And so we are sitting here on a Monday evening recording the first part of this episode again.
Yep.
Obviously, as we said, it's going to take us some time to get used to the whole system and the whole layout and runnings of things. As this is our very first podcast. Neither of the two of us have any experience of podcasting. So yeah, just bear with us.
And episode 2 should be a step up in quality again from this episode.
Yeah. I'd like to think that every single episode that we do is going to be a step up.
Should be.
We're going to continue to make progress as we go on, just as long as you enjoy the content, really. That's the main thing.
That's the most important thing, and I suppose now that it's 3 days since we actually recorded, and we have put a few clips out in the time of recording.
Socials have been popping already.
And it seems to be doing well, so by the looks of things, people like it. But I think the most important thing is to tell us what you want to change and what we're doing wrong.
Anything other than audio, because we know what's wrong with the audio. We understand that the audio is wrong. Anything else that's going wrong or any other suggestions that you have, please just let us know. Any inside information is definitely appreciated.
Yeah. And then, as we will say at the end of this video, if there's any questions you have for us or topics you want us to cover in episode 2, episode 3, send them to our Instagram, our TikTok.
Yeah.
Comment on the YouTube, comment on anything. I'm reading all the comments. You're reading through them too. So
some of them are good. We really enjoy feedback. Feedback is good. Good or bad, it doesn't have to be. We're not asking anyone to lick our arse.
Yeah.
Just any feedback at all. Just let us know. Good. And perfect. Anyway, so in this episode, what we're going to be getting into is we're each going to be picking 4 cars that we have owned. And we're going to be deciding, we're going to be picking 2 good and 2 bad cars that we've had. We're going to be speaking about them.
Yeah. There's a couple of good stories come out of them.
Oh, they're gas. See, we've already, this is funny now because we've already seen the entire video and we know what we're about to speak about. It looks good. So, enjoy.
Let's get into it.
So we're going to get down into it, right? So what way did you want to lay this out? You wanted to pick, I'm going to pick one of my good cars.
No, I think we go bad.
Right.
We both pick a bad car.
Right.
You go first.
Okay.
Then you both pick a good car.
Yep.
And then we both pick a bad car and a good car again.
Right, sweet. So the first car that I'm going to speak about is, now, this car needs no introduction. By saying 2 words, you're going to know exactly what car I'm talking about if you've followed me on any form of social media before now, right? The very first bad car that I'm going to speak about is none other than the Border Buster, right? Don't be fooled by the name, right? This was a B6, a black B6 Volkswagen Passat, 1.9, 105 brake, right?
Quick.
Rapid. Man, thing wouldn't pull the socks off of none, right? Bog standard when I got it. It was on a set of Helios or Halos, whatever you want to call them. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When I was finished with this car, it had full tints. I was going to say coilovers there, but if something's telling me that there was cuts in the front and no springs in the back, right?
Allegedly, no. This never.
Oh yeah, allegedly.
This was just purely for visual purpose.
For legal reasons. This was allegedly. Everything was road legal at this point. Okay. Anyway,
it never actually went on the road to the state.
No. Private roads only. Anyway, actually, no. I had insurance on that car. I did. I actually did. I swear to God. Anyway, Yeah, so we had the full tints, we had the Helios, we had coilovers. Thing was licking tar. It was like a dog with worms just scraping its arse along. It was great. Anyway, and a tractor pipe, right? Now, when I say a tractor pipe, this pipe came out the back of the car and a 90-degree bend straight up into one of them chats, right? Honest to God, right? And I guarantee that there's going to be people watching this that know the car down to a T, because I'm known for this car by a lot of people, right? This car caused me nothing but sheer chaos. And would I have changed a single thing about it? Never, right? The stories I could tell in this car, right? So if anybody knows B6 Passats, I believe it was the first year that the electric handbrake was taken into the Volkswagen cars. I could be wrong, right? But it was the first Volkswagen that I ever owned that had one of them electric handbrakes. And I thought to myself when I seen it, I was like, fuck, that's convenient. It wasn't even, I don't know why I'm going like this. It's one of them chats where you press the button over by there, isn't it? And I was like, shit, that's convenient, right? That thought lasted all of about 5 minutes. Because if anybody has had one of these or knows anything about them, you'll know the rear caliper motors are about as useful as a chocolate engine. They're fucking, right? But here's a trick for you, because I've learned this the hard way. I don't even know how I learned it, right? If you get under the car and pop the back, there's like a little plastic cap on it, pop the back off, you can just twist out that motor, remove it, and just over a ditch, because that's what I allegedly done with the back two calipers on my car. This car, right, it locked me out of itself while I was filling it at a petrol station. Pulled up to Micras. If anyone knows Micras, 24-hour filling station outside Casablanca. I pulled up there one night, put diesel into the thing, and I later find out that the reason why this happened is because the driver's door handle was a bit iffy. Sometimes it'd work, sometimes it wouldn't. But when you take off in the car, all of the doors lock. So I was on my own in the car this night, pulled up, jumped out of the car, left it running, closed the door, right? Filled it up with diesel, went in to pay, came out, over to the door. You'd expect it to open. Did it open? Nah. Did it fuck, right? Ended up, I had to break into my own car at a 24-hour filling station.
What time was this at?
About 2 a.m. or something, right? 2 a.m. And even though I had tax, test, insurance, NCT, everything on the car, definitely, right? Allegedly it wasn't anywhere near road legal, but it had everything on the window. I was still terrified that the guards were going to drive past and see me breaking into my own fucking car, right? In the I ended up getting I don't know, was it a breaker bar or a crowbar or something? And busting the hinge on the boot, climbing in through the boot and into the driver's seat. And how I didn't put that thing into a ditch out of sheer rage on the way home, I will never know. Anyway, I did get my revenge on that car eventually, because, and I can speak about this because it's a well-known fact, my inner Dominic Toretto came out one time. Now, if anybody has seen The Fast and the Furious, where they swerve in under the lorry when there's like an oncoming car and then swerve in, it doesn't actually work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is where I learned that not everything you see in the telly is real, right? It's because I thought, like, my inner Dominic Toretto came out of me one time. I thought, go in under this lorry. Next thing you know, I was after, unbeknownst to myself, I created the very first convertible B6 Passat. The roof was just gone. That was the end of that car. Honestly, but like, that's only, listen, I'm not trying to drag this on longer than it has to be. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the stories that I could tell.
And you know the funny thing with that car is, I barely remember that car.
Yeah.
Whatever it is about that one,
I don't know.
I can barely remember that.
See, a lot of people know me for that. They'll be like, oh, like, even though that was, oh man, that has to be like 6 years ago.
Oh, easy.
It has to be. And even to this day, I have people like texting me, being like, oh, the border buster, or something about it. And I'm like, how is this car still known? Like, do you know what I mean? I think I had it all of about 6 months.
That's long for you, though.
It is long. It is long. And actually, just before I keep dragging this on. Before I finish off, there's another funny story. Is one night, this is why I removed the rear calipers, allegedly, is because there was one night I got out of my bed, I had to go somewhere, and the rear caliper had seized. One of the wheels would not turn at all. And I was that dog ignorant that I just drove it anyway. And by the time I went to where I had to go and I came home again, I had 4 round Helios and one that was like a semicircle and flat at the bottom. And that's when I removed the rear calipers. But yeah, anyway, that's my very first bad car, and that's one of many bad cars I could speak about.
And I think somehow my first bad car is going to top that. Because that's a bad car. That was a good car as well. That was more through funny stories.
Oh,
This car brought me the worst
misery.
car. There's nothing good I can say. Not a single thing. Actually, if you parked it up and stood far away and took a picture of it in the right lighting, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, squinting she's
That was
mint.
it. And beyond a nice picture, occasionally, if the lighting's right and you don't really look that hard, it's a grand.
So you're telling me if you pulled that car up in a field at about 1:15 in the morning
Yeah,
and stood
With
3
wind.
miles, 3 miles away,
yeah. I
It'd
shot
take
a
a-
light at it.
it'd
Like,
take a
that's
good photo.
Fucking lovely car.
Nice.
Any closer and no good.
Yeah.
But to get into the backstory of this car, and the funny thing is, I just remembered it there. The whole reason, actually, that I bought this car is because I had to sell my second bad car that I'm going to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Because it was also a pile of shit.
Can I get right for those of you that don't know, Dan? Right, I'm just gonna throw a wild one here out with a wild guess. Right, was the second bad car and the third car a Bora? Were they both Boras?
No,
Oh,
the second one was
okay.
The second one was the silver Bora.
Yep.
We'll leave the first one till later on.
Right. Okay.
But this is the cause of I had to sell this car because it was so bad, and then I sold it just to get rid of it.
And you thought this
on a
car is
Tuesday night.
going to be great now. This next one that I'm going to buy. That was
Well-
your thought process.
Not really. So I sold it on a Tuesday night. And then I kind of come back into the house. And I sat down and I went, I've got work tomorrow.
How am I getting to work?
I'm going to get, I live a 45-minute drive from work. How's
Can't
that
really-
going to work? That'll be a long walk in the morning. So I went, right. Was feeling a bit sick today anyway, so I suppose I'll be sick tomorrow. And then tomorrow I came, I went, right now, can't be sick 2 days in a row. So on to Marketplace. Find this 04, I think it was.
That was your
You know-
first issue of Marketplace.
03 or 04, silver Bora. Silver was never my colour. Actually, until I bought this car.
Okay.
I didn't actually mind silver on a car after this.
For a bit of day.
Yeah. Found this car anyway. Wasn't too far. Was it Mullingar?
Wait, did I go with you for that one?
Yes. The silver one.
That's not the one that I told you not to buy.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, right. This one. Shit.
Find this silver
It
board.
was Mullingar. It was Mullingar, I remember, because it
Okay.
took us ages to get here.
Text your man. Well, you bet this evening. Yeah, 100%. It was up for less than €1,000. And another thing I'll say is I've owned 4, 5 Boras.
Listen.
Way more than any man should ever.
Yeah.
I don't even like them that much.
Yeah.
But I've never spent any more than €1,000 on a board. Which, at the time of buying them,
That was a lot of money, though.
wasn't unheard of.
Yeah, but that was it. Listen, that was the going rate for them. It'd be if you were to get a Bora for £1,000 nowadays.
It's going to be the silver board that I bought.
Yeah, you wouldn't, but
Yeah.
you take them.
If you were to buy the Boras that I bought back then for 700, 800, 900 euro, you're probably looking at 2.5 grand now. If you bought a two and a
If
half
even.
grand Bora back then, you were getting the cleanest Bora in the country.
Fact.
But anyway, so find this car. Pictures look grand. They've all got filters on them for some reason. But I skipped past that.
Well, yeah, hardly like the little cat with the tongue out and stuff on the bonnet. That was it.
Was that a 130? No, it was a 100 brake matte. I never owned a 130 Bora. All the ones I owned, I never owned a 130. So, seeing this anyway, text your man, wait this evening, yeah, grand. Text you. Well, I'm going to look at the car to see if you about it. Yeah, 100%. Into the car that evening, you finished up work, brought me down, hop into this car. And
Now, I'm glad I went on the test drive with this man,
Yeah.
right?
so I'll into the car, starts up, fine, it was a Riki Bora.
I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, before we even left the forecourt of the petrol station, I said to you, do not buy this car.
I think it was about that quick.
Yeah.
So, take off, bang.
Yeah.
Right, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But
But
a Bora about that place. Not the good kind of bang, the bad kind of bang.
yeah.
And you were like, don't buy this car.
Yeah. So that was
Then-
the second time. We're going to do a do not buy this car count, right?
Then we
Run two.
head out the road a little bit further. Any bump you hit, there's this awful thud around the back axle.
Yes.
So like, right, this isn't great. And I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, this is not a good car.
Mm-hmm.
Cross a couple of speed bumps. Back axle you would be full sure the back axle is about to fall out of the car.
It just sounded like a bag of tin whistles. Like it just
was. And you were like, just don't buy this car.
do not buy this car.
I think it was about €700. I think it was up for about that. I think it might go off for 600.
Yeah, but even still, I remember actually now, you were like to me, listen, it's got this and this wrong. It makes this noise and that noise. He's asking 700. I think I can get it for 6. I was like, Dan, do not buy this car. Right? Got back. Right.
We got back. Had this conversation about how I shouldn't buy the car.
Mm-hmm.
I agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I handed him €600.
As you do.
And then I remember on the way home, hitting bumps here on the back axle about to fall out, thinking to myself, what have I done?
Yeah.
All of this just to get to work tomorrow.
Yes. You must have loved your job.
On the way home, we stopped in Kells, and I remember this distinctly. We pulled into a car park, and I don't know what you were driving at the time.
I wasn't driving, allegedly.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
But two cars are parked beside each other. I had drove both of them, funny enough. And I got out of the car, and in the pitch black, with the flash on my iPhone 8, probably,
Yeah.
I took the worst pictures, and I had planned on posting it on Facebook Marketplace.
Before he even got home.
Hadn't even got home. And then on the way home, then I was like, right, well, I can't do this again. Because then it's going to end up with another silver Bora. We don't want that. We don't want two of them.
No.
But then it ended up, what really did, nothing actually like broke on that car.
Man, it was already everything was broke when you bought it.
It was broke already, so it couldn't break on me.
No, you can't break it if it's already broken. Do
But
you get what I'm saying?
I ended up, so I'm a mechanic.
Well.
So as you'd like to think, a mechanic would fix his car. I hate fixing cars. I will fix one of my cars.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what's funny is, right? And I go mad at him. This is probably gone off on a tangent again, right? The fleet of cars that this man has. I mean, I know lads, and even me personally, that would give a limb to have one of these. And actually, it's funny because you said to me yesterday, I was like, what are you doing with this car, right? He was like, it somehow broke a spring by itself, just sitting in the yard, not doing anything.
Now it's getting punished.
He said he's punishing the car by not driving it. Yeah. And this, I mean, I don't even want to say what it is, but I genuinely would give I'd give a finger for it anyway.
We'll put it out there. So this car is getting punished now. So what happened was I was driving this car as a daily, popping out to Dublin, and then yes, that's what it was. A body control module went in. I'd get a body control module for it, and it's a pain in the hole to get one for it. I didn't say what it is yet.
No.
It's a Mark 1
F4
ARL 150 Leon that
untouched. It's not been molested yet.
It's a one-owner car in this country. Was brought over by someone I worked with in England. He owned it for like 16 years or something. He had it basically from new. It was maybe 3-4 years old when he
this car is immaculate. Like,
brought it over with him from England whenever he bought it. Never mapped, never lowered, original alloys, original radio, original.
It's got full service history.
Yeah, has everything that you can think of it.
And he's punishing it.
And then the body control module went. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. They're really hard to get because you can't just go to a scrapyard and get a body control module out of a normal 1.6 petrol, because it has to have 4 electric windows, central locking, all that kind of stuff. So I came to the point of, I was like, right, it has to be parked at the minute because it can't be driven the way it is. It is keeping one of the indicators on constant, and then it keep the other one on constant.
It's pretty much just normal Volkswagen / German car problems.
But it came to the point then where I was like, right, has to be parked, can't drive it. So then I drove my weekend car as a daily, which is never a good thing to do anyway. So that got parked after that. Then I left my job and I didn't need a daily because I was getting a company van. And once I had the company van, then it kind of really got forgotten about. And then I went and bought one of my good cars.
Yeah, which we'll get to later.
Get to now. But then it really got forgotten about because it didn't need to be driven at all. And the day I came home with the good car, I was like, right, I need to clear some space in the driveway. I'm going to put it down in the yard.
Farmyard.
Yes.
Parks it in a farmyard.
Yes. Started it not in a shed. It'd be too good for it. It doesn't deserve a shed just yet. We'll see. It might get a shed someday.
Do you know, I have a feeling we're going to leave this shed someday. There's going to be a diehard Mark 1 Leon fan.
You're just going to kill it.
They're going to fucking maul you.
Yeah.
There's that, what you're doing to this car is unjustified.
Anyway, so I was like, right, I have to clear up some space. Going to move it out. Jump started it up. Turned the steering wheel. I said, that's a weird noise. Brought it into the yard. Turned the wheel out, full lock. Broke a spring. Hadn't moved in like 4 months. And then there's a spring broke.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're staying there.
See, I just don't understand his thought process there. Like, here you have a completely untouched, pristine example of a Mark 1 F4 Leon. Bog standard, never touched, and you're abusing it by parking it in a fucking farmyard, not even in a field.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to get a go at it this summer. Put a spring into it, get the body control module, get it cleaned up, get it gone.
They are a beautiful. Listen, I don't know what your take are on Leons. I wouldn't be a huge fan on Leons, but the Mark 1 Leon,
I love Mark 1 Leon.
They are beautiful.
I would take a Mark 1 Leon over a Mark 4 Golf, which are the same car, because you go out. Maybe not so much now, but years ago you went to a car meet and there was 7 Mark 4 Golfs packed there.
Yeah. Do you know what's after overtaking that now? Mark 6 Golf.
That is a problem.
Oh, listen, that's a story for another day. Anyway, right? Right. Now, see, this is an issue that we're gonna have now. So, like, because me and Dan are not on, we haven't got any practice or experience in podcasting, right?
We just went with a 10-minute ramble.
That was a 10-minute tangent that wasn't even, like, relevant to what we were talking about. Now, see, personally, I think this is fine with a podcast. Because people might listen. I know it's a heap of bullshit, but people might listen. And it's something that we're only going to learn with time.
It's something that's relevant. Because before you said Mark 1 Leon, I had completely forgot what I owned that car.
How? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like going off on tangents is good for podcasts. I believe, like, as long as it's relevant. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic at hand. We're talking about 4 cars, 2 good, 2 bad, that each of us have owned. So we've each spoke about one of our bad cars. It's taken us 20 minutes to get there. But we're now going to speak about the good ones. So, if anybody knows me, one of the things that you will know about me is my die-hard love for K10/K11 Micras. I swear to God, they're the best built cars in the world. I don't care. Hands down, for me, they will always be one of the most beautiful cars. You could see, even, right, if you've ever spent time with me or we went on a spin anywhere, if a granny drives past in a clapped out, rusted up, bog standard K11 Micra, I will bust my bollocks to turn around to stare at. I'm just obsessed with them. I don't know what it is, right? So for me, the very first good car that I have on this list here is a blue K11 Micra that I bought for €200.
And this goes to show how hard it was to pick 2 good cars, because by the stories that's going to come out of this car.
No, these are brilliant.
A firm bad car.
No, you see, right, for me, right, it might just give you a bit of an insight into who I am, right? Anyway, I bought this car for €200. I even forget where. I think I could have travelled 3 hours to get this car.
Can't remember. This is actually one of the rare cars that I didn't bring you to get.
Yeah. No, you did.
Did I?
You did. You and Lee brought me to get that car. Yes.
No, that wasn't that far away, because we were going somewhere last weekend and we passed.
Is it? In the house? Lads, I needn't tell you, right? I showed up, and do you know how I knew I was 100% buying it? I didn't even test drive the car.
No.
100% I knew I was buying this car is because I showed up. They didn't meet me at a petrol station. They gave me their address. I showed up. They opened the door. invited me into the house. It was an elderly couple. They made me a cup of tea. They whipped out some biscuits. They brought out the logbook, told me the story of this car inside out. The only reason they were selling it is because the rust wouldn't let it pass the NCT. They would have scrapped it, but it's too good of a car to scrap. They said they'd let somebody get somebody use out of it. I gave them the full asking price, which was €200 for this car. Didn't try to bid. Do you know what I'm saying? Could have probably left there with 50 quid. I thought, do you know what? Get me a couple of biscuits. And I says, you're getting the 200 quids. So, bought the car for 200 quid. Straight away on, I didn't even make it home. I was planning on what I was going to do to this car, right? Had a set of wheels bought before I even went home for another €200. So I spent the price of a car on a set of wheels. They were, I believe they were a set of, they were white. They were very similar to like Rota Torques or something. They weren't Rota Torques, but they were very similar. They were like a 16 or a 17 inch. I remember they were massive on this car. They were like a 16 or a 17 inch white alloy. And I stuck them on. The thing was like a boat. I was like, how am I going to... Like, it was like a monster truck going around. So, these might sound like horror stories to you. To me, it's just gold. It's exactly how it should be, right? So, I ended up taking the springs out of this car, right? Then I couldn't drive because all I was smelling was rubber. There was contact between the arches and the wheels and whatever. I could have went and got low profiles. I could have changed the wheels, whatever. Nah.
You could have put the springs back in.
Possibly could have done that. Anyway, nah. Brilliant idea that I had. Roll the arches, right? Right. Now, having never had rolled arches before, having never experienced how to properly roll an arch, man just went straight onto TikTok. How to roll an arch. And the video that I seen, that I took it at face value, it was definitely a piss take. It was a piss take, and I didn't find out until later because I rolled the arches on my own with a steel bar. I left the car running, handbrake up, stick a steel bar in between the tyre and the arch, and I proceeded to jump into the car and reverse it, right? Nobody holding the bar, nothing, just at its own free will. So you can imagine.
Just stick it there. We put a bit of a disclaimer. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, do not try to recreate or reenact any of the stories that you hear in this podcast, okay? Anyway, as you can imagine how well that went, you could literally get a trip to A&E by walking past this car. They were as shitty. The arches on this car were as rough as a badger's arse, one might say.
You could smell the tetanus from a mile away.
Oh, fact. You just looking at this car, you felt pain. Yeah. But I thought it was brilliant. Anyway, right, I drove this car for a while. I don't even remember how long I had it, but like, because there was no springs in it, everywhere you drive, you're bouncing and you can barely breathe, never mind speak. I've got some videos of it still. I still have some photos. We're going to actually try and get photos of each of the cars that we have and stick it somewhere on the screen so that ye can have a look of what they are. Now, this Micra, don't be fooled, right? The Micra looks class from a distance, right? But when you look close, it might not look so class. To me, it was the most beautiful. It was like Picasso himself whipped out a paintbrush and painted this car. But anyway, the end of this car, right? I had bought another car and I parked that one up for whatever reason, I don't even know. And I posted it for sale. Now, this car was for sale for approximately 2 months. Didn't get one bite on the car until one wet, dark winter's night, right? Sitting at home, there was nobody there, right? Don't know where everyone was. I ended up getting a lift. Did I get a lift? Or did I run down the road? I can't remember.
I think you ran.
Right. So I ran down the road. This car was about 2 miles away. Now, this person that had texted me, and I would have never been so desperate to get rid of a car, only for the fact that this car was standing me €400 at this point. And this man was offering me €700 for this car. And I was like, man, this car has to go. I've been trying to sell it for 2 months. This fella wants it now for €700. So I ran down the road, jumped into the car. It was in a field. It was parked in a field. Don't ask why.
This is the part of the story where I would get to, I hate this car.
Yeah, right. No, but see, I felt like it was flirting with me. I'm not going to lie. Right? It was like, you left me in a field. I nearly killed you in a shock. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's cute. Anyway, so Car was stuck in the field. Bear in mind, it's a dark, wet, boggy winter's night. The car's parked in a field. I'm on my own. Piss and rain, right? Jump into the car, starts first tip. I'm like, you good girl. It's just typical Micra. Never fails to start, right? Because of these massive fucking wheels and the great idea that I had to take the springs completely out of it, car was sitting on the floor, big, massive, bald wheels. You can imagine where this is going. Stuck it into reverse, went like this here just to... wasn't going anywhere. Car was stuck, wheels were just spinning. I was like, how am I getting out of here? There's nobody around to help me, right? Phone was on, I believe, 10% or 5% at this point, right? Man was texting me, how far away are you, right? Now, I'm about 10, 15 minutes away from where I told him I'd meet him.
Yeah, it was Slay, I remember that.
Yeah. And so, I jumped. I was like, how am I going to get out of this? So what I done was, I left it in reverse to the point where the wheels were like, slowly spinning, right? And I jumped out of the car and I ran around, right, to the bonnet of the car. And I was like, right, I'm going to push this, right? And thankfully, well, actually, no, it would have been better if it caught traction at that point. Anyway, started pushing the car while it's in reverse itself. Wheels are reversing itself, right? Started pushing the car. Next thing, it caught grip and started to move. And I panicked. I was like, how am I stopping the car? It stopped itself, thankfully. So I jumped over by the driver's door, stood there, and I was pulling the car like this, right? To get it to reverse, right? Well, if it fucking reversed, it nearly ran, it did run over me. It ran over me, right? I got ran over by my own car with nobody else in the car or around the area.
Pitch black.
Yeah, piss and rain, right? Anyway, car ran me over and then proceeded to go backwards into a shock. And I was like, oh, this car does not want to be sold, right? At this point, I still loved the car. I was like, I didn't even want to get rid of it. And I was like, right, how am I getting this out of here? Tried ringing people. Nobody was answering.
I remember that because I was on the way home.
Yeah.
And someone else, I can't remember who it was, someone texted me and was like, are you around?
Yeah.
Jake is badly stuck.
Yeah, right. And at this point, right, you did actually ring me back, right? And I was delighted that he rang me back, but it was already too late because I was sitting in a tractor. Right, don't ask where the tractor came from. I'm not a farmer. I never drove a tractor before. I don't understand how any of these things work, right? It had one of them fork chats on the front. You're going to know what I'm on about, but I don't, right? So had one of them and I was like, right, I'm going to tie some rope onto the car that's sitting at an angle in a shock, stuck, and I'm going to tow it out with a tractor. So when Dan rang me, I was looking around with a flashlight trying to find what buttons to start. I was like, Dan, he was like, what's wrong? He had about 20 missed calls at this point. I was like, how do you start a tractor? Definitely not the stranger. Anyway, so he talked me through starting the tractor. I was like, my phone's on 1%. I need you to be in Slane in 20 minutes. I'm selling a car. Don't ask, right? Ended up, I managed to somehow pull the Micra out of the shock, out of the field, put the tractor back, jumped into the car, pegged it to Slane. Your man was thankfully still there. My phone had died. He just hands me the car. He literally, right now, I mean to say, it had just ran me over, drove itself into a bog, into a shock, backwards, right? Bumpers were broke, grass was everywhere, there was muck, the thing looked fucked. Your man never even test drove it. He just looked at the car, goes, yeah, no problem, hands me €700 cash and drives off. And I'm sitting there, sweet as a nut, at the petrol station, and I'm like, Dan, you better hurry the fuck up before this man realises what he's after buying and comes back to take the money back. Dan came to the rescue, thank God. So that's my first good car. You might be confused by thinking that that's a bad car. That's one of my good cars. So you can imagine what the bad cars were like.
And now let's contrast that with my first good car.
Right.
My first good car is a fairly new car to me. It was a year and a half, coming on 2 years old. Well, to me, Jesus, not brand new. I took an absolute no shit when I talked about the company van I got. And I was like, I don't need a daily anymore. So I can just buy whatever I want. I was like, let's buy a pickup. And some people buy pickups that don't need pickups. I kind of need a pickup. I do live on farm. I do pull my other good car that I'm going to talk about on a trailer for track days occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's buy a pickup. Looking at Rangers, heard bad things about Rangers. And then I was kind of looking at some other things, Navaras and stuff, but we liked them. Then I settled on an Amarok. So I was like, right. So I seen this Amarok for sale, grey Amarok. So okay, let's go have a look at it. It's in a dealership. Went to the dealership with one of the lads that also had a pickup, so he looked official. And went there, and the owner wasn't there. His, I don't know, son, I don't know, so a young lad was in the yard. So he pulled the Jeep out for me, showed me around it. He was like, bring for a test drive there. He was like, but I will tell you, it's mapped. And the second you test drive this Jeep, you won't buy another single Jeep that's sitting in this yard here. So I said, that's fine. I only want this one.
Don't threaten me with a good time, more or less. Yeah.
So hop into the Jeep. It's also straight piped. 3-litre V6, straight piped. Remapped. 320 horsepower. Some other crazy number in torque figures.
I think it's 400 or 500 foot-pound torque.
I
Mental.
have no idea. Hop into it, go for a test drive, plant the boot, instantly fall in love. So I'm like, right. So bring it for a spin, come back, and now the owner is back. And he goes, yeah, nice Jeep, isn't it? He said, bad news though, sold. I said, right.
Oh,
Goddamn.
nothing worse.
It's like, what can you do? And he said, look, he said, I've this other white one here, similar money. Little bit different spec, a little bit higher spec actually. It had leather reclining seats, electric reclining seats. So hopped into that one, drove it. Still a quick Jeep. There's still 220 horsepower. Loads of poke. 8-speed automatic. Drove it. I was like, yeah, this is a really nice Jeep. The nice one. I did really like the grey though, grey with black bars. And brought it back. And they said, look, it's a little bit more expensive. So I said, look, not 100% sure. Really like the grey one. If your deal falls through, let me know. So I went away. He said, no problem. I'll let you know. So he goes away and get a phone call a couple of days later. Goes, how you doing? The man that was trying to buy that Jeep couldn't get finance. So I said, great. So I said, he said, look, I said, I just need to finalize some things. I'll get back to you. He said, but as far as I know at the minute, the Jeep is yours. All good. Start getting hopes up again. Day goes by. I give him a ring to try and arrange to go down and have a look again, leave a deposit, whatever, at the weekend. Ring him up. Really sorry. He said, this man's trying to get a bank loan now. So that's my hopes crushed.
Have you ever hated somebody so much without knowing anything about them?
So I was like, right, I'm not getting the Jeep now. Next day, phone rings. I think this is a Friday. This was a Friday.
Yeah.
Phone rings. It's your man again. How you doing? This man can't get a bank loan. Poor man. Just have the worst credit history of anyone. Poor bastard. Anyway, can't get a bank loan, can't get finance. Jeep is all yours now. No going back. Perfect. You're in tomorrow. Yeah, all good. I'll be up, leave a deposit. All excited now again. Up, leave a deposit. Up into this Jeep. I remember coming home with it. I think it was the next day. I text you.
Yep.
I said, you were home. I said, yeah. Something to show you.
Yeah.
And I landed up.
It's just, did you know what? Well, just to cut you off there, when you said, are you at home? I've got something to show you. With our track record, it literally could have been anything. I was worried to see what this man was going to bring me.
I genuinely think if I could have given you a million guesses,
never.
The 2017 Volkswagen Amarok was not on.
Definitely not. 100% I would have never guessed that.
This Jeep, in my time of ownership, so far, all I've had to put into it is an ABS sensor and a handbrake cable. And the handbrake cable you can forgive, it's automatic. Most people don't even bother using the handbrake, so it sees and fail fast. ABS sensor was an ABS sensor. Fixed them both for like 50 quid each, or combined them.
And that's in how many years?
Year and a half, maybe 2 years. Now, at the minute, there's either a wheel bearing or the back diff is about to explode. So next week, this might be a bad car. But at the minute,
that's for now. But listen, I really hope we can get photos in so that on this podcast, so that you can see at home how beautiful this thing is.
I always said before I bought it, the blue or the red that you can buy in Amaroks is the best colour for Amaroks. And I still a little bit think that now. But when you go out, do you know when it's like springtime?
Yes.
And it's just getting dark. And you've got that red smoke.
Son, you're selling it to him now. Tell me more, Dan.
And you've got the Jeep is clean.
Yes.
And the sky reflects off the bonnet. There is no better colour.
Nah.
Especially with the black bars.
I said this to you, though. See, when you got it, and you were explaining the whole story with the white Jeep and that one and test driving it, and you saying about your opinion on your colours of them, I said, personally, that was my favourite colour in them.
Yeah. It is a lovely colour.
Mm-hmm.
And it can do anything I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought my other car to track days. It's brought other people's cars home. It's done many, many sketchy runs for you.
Yeah.
Many sketchy loads.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a really
never let you down. Very reliable.
Touch wood.
What's mental is, right, and I'm only kind of just noticing this now, right?
Watch the diff explode on the way home tonight.
No, not even that. I'm kind of just, and I'm sure the people at home have already picked up on this, right? Just from my good car and your good car.
They're very different.
Very different. And this man definitely has a lot more sense than I do.
Don't know about that in all aspects, but it is,
yeah.
Cannot fault it. Like, see, the thing with the other Jeeps I was looking at, one of the boys is a Hilux.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive Jeep, great power, everyone loves the Hilux.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sit into the Hilux, and this is newer than mine too, when you sit into the Hilux and you go for a drive, you hit a bump and you feel the bump 10 minutes down the road, you're still bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sit into the Amarok and you've got this massive leather seat, you've got this massive armrest,
mm-hmm.
and it's just pure comfort.
Comfort.
I remember one boy told me when I was buying it, he was like, I hate Amaroks. They just look like a golf inside. And I was like, what more could you want out of a Jeep?
Exactly.
It's got the size of a Jeep. It's got the power of a Jeep. It's got the four-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like a car inside.
Just doesn't have a stripper pole in the back. That's probably what he wanted.
Probably, yeah. That could have done too.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I can complain with Amaroks is how hard it is to get them. As far as I know, you actually can't get the V6s. I could be wrong.
I've seen a few of them recently. I have. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, but with selectable four-wheel drive and selectable diff locks, the Jeep is constant four-wheel drive, and it's the only thing I'd like to be able to knock the front diff off.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only complaint I have.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, though, right? The sensible side of you was saying that, but the unsensible side, I know that if you were able to turn off the front locks,
it would probably be a bad job.
If 100% the thing would be on our lid, then you'd be talking about how it's a bad car.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It would definitely be in bits now.
Speaking of bad cars, we're going to go back and hit you with another bad one. So, the next bad car that I have, this is from many moons ago. I believe this is... You don't even know about this one. You know, when I said this car to Dan earlier, he had zero recollection. I believe this was in 2016. Yeah, I think it was. It was 10 years ago. It's a C220 1998 estate Mercedes.
Now, from the outset, that sounds like a great car.
Sounds like, listen, I'm selling it to you. This car was terrible. I don't know why I bought it. I don't know how I bought it. Can't remember fuck all about it, other than the bad things, right? There's a funny story to the end of this car as well. I don't really have too many funny stories about the owning of the car because it kind of just caused me heartache and misery the entirety of it. But it kind of worked out well because at the time I was living in Clonmel and it was coming up to a point whereby I was moving to Waterford. I believe I only owned it for about 2 months. It was an automatic. Bought it. I'm going to tell you the story. I remember I went up to a man's yard and I don't think I was driving too long. I would have been fairly young, like.
Yeah. Don't
think I was driving too long. I believe the car was about 250 quid, right? Diesel. It drove, it stopped, it started. And that's all I knew about the car, right? Pulled up to your man's yard and he says, have you ever drove an automatic before? And I bluffed him. I was like, yeah, drive them all the time. And he definitely knew by that. I never drove one before in my life, right? So he brings me over, talks me through it, right? After me telling him I drove them before. Talks me through it, and they've got one of them little handbrakes. You know the ones that the foot pedal ones. So it's one of them ones. So I'm glad he did talk me through it. Anyway, bought the car, drove it home. It was sitting in a yard. I'd say the car hadn't been driven in about that long. Drove it home. There was cobwebs all over the cunt. Thing was covered in moss. Horrible. Wait, you need to see the photo because he hasn't even seen a photo of this thing yet, right? Brought it home. It was automatic, and it was a C220. It wasn't very powerful. It was a very heavy car, and I was like, the minute I found out, I didn't know too much about cars back then, but the minute I found out it was back-wheel drive, I instantly turned into fucking Ken Block. I was like, this is it now. I'm going to be drifting everywhere. And a couple of the lads I would have been friendly with at the time were like making a laugh and a joke. They were like, you will never drift that thing. Well, by Jesus, I got this thing to go around one time. And I managed to get a photo of it, put it as my cover photo on Facebook, and I thought I was brilliant. I thought I was the bee's knees. Anyway, the thing, I can't even remember half of the problems it gave me. It was that long ago. I do know that it caused me nothing but heartache. And as I said, it was brilliant timing that I was moving to Waterford, that I was able to do my entire move with one trip because it was in a state. I dropped the back seats, threw everything that belonged to me and some things that didn't belong to me into the back of this and drove it to Waterford. Now, I'm glad that I could do this in one trip and not two, because as I was coming down by WIT in Waterford, which is the college in Waterford, I was moving to the inner city. It's about, well, I know it to be a 45-minute walk to where I was getting the car.
I wonder how you figured that out.
I figured that out because I was stopped in traffic, no insurance,
Allegedly.
definitely no NCT, allegedly, definitely no NCT, no tax. Don't even think I had a logbook for this thing, right? Stuck in traffic at a red light, car decides to cut out. I tried to start it, didn't start, tried everything, wouldn't start. Light went green, traffic started to move. I didn't move. I couldn't move. I didn't know what was wrong, and I didn't know enough about cars to try and do that, to check on it, to see, like, maybe this is wrong, maybe that. I just decided to start unloading all of my shit out of this car, and thankfully enough, there was a shop just down the end, and they had, like, I believe, maybe less than 5 trolleys there. Well, I started packing up these trolleys. And a 45-minute walk to where I was moving to. Just left the car there.
Just left it.
Just left it. I don't know where it ended. I don't know how it ended. That was the last time I ever seen that car. But still in my eyes, that was €250 well spent, because I got to look like Ken Block on my Facebook, and I got it to move all of my shit down to Waterford, and that was it.
It would have been a little bit better if it got you 45 minutes of a walk further up the road.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, right, with Waterford being whatever way it worked out, right, it was only like a 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
So, like, 10 more minutes, I was home sweet. I could have just left the bastard sit outside for months on end. It wouldn't have bothered me, right? Nah, had to stop in traffic outside WIT. But yeah, that's...
And how many trolleys did it take?
Well, I didn't know that much stuff. Clearly, I was driving a Mercedes that I bought for €250. I believe it was 2 trolleys, because I had one in front and one behind. And all the while, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I was more so looking what was behind me to see, was anybody after copping that it was me that was after leaving the car there.
And I presume you brought the trolleys back, you did?
Yeah, allegedly, yeah. Allegedly. Yeah, so that was one of my bad... Wait, listen, I'm going to have to, like, distinguish what's my good cars and what's my bad car, because
very clearly.
It's a very dull line.
Because then we'll see. So my next bad car, on paper, was one of the best cars I should have ever owned.
Which one is this now?
The Passat.
Oh, you're right. Now, when he says on paper, right, this thing came with, I mean to say, was there even, there was 2 folders?
No, it was just...
Was it just one?
One massive ring binder. Every single page had a receipt, an NCT pass, even had NCT fails in it. The one car that doesn't try to hide the NCT fails, because he had the receipts for the parts he fixed on it.
Now, when I seen this book, I thought your man was after trying to handwrite an entire Harry Potter book, right? The thing was wedged, man. You couldn't even close the bastard.
I actually think I have a picture of the folder.
Yeah, if you do.
If I do.
Yeah, stick it up.
I'll show it up.
Boys, I have never seen a car come with so many receipts and documents. It was crazy.
Basically, I pulled up. I remember it was in Offaly. And actually, funny story, I made end up. was with us.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to run over here offset just to grab a can of drink. Would you like one?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So, as usual, I give him a text and got a car. It was in Offaly, as far as I can remember. Do you want to come to Offaly? Or will you bring me to Offaly? It wasn't even really a question. It was, we're going to Offaly to buy a car. So, answer was yeah. I think it must have been like a Saturday, because I remember going down early enough.
Yeah.
And on the way down, I went, let's get a Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped at the Burger King on the way down.
Mm-hmm. No, you're going to blame the Burger King here.
No.
Maybe.
Get the Burger King and eat it. It was lovely. Burger King's always quite nice.
Yeah, it is. Well,
I like that. Yeah, I like Burger King.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So anyway, not to blame Burger King. Sometimes when I eat fast food, my stomach just doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So we get probably halfway there. That trip seemed to take about 7 hours. Because I remember
Honestly,
in the daytime, and
yeah,
it was pitch black when we got there.
And it almost felt like the following night.
Yeah.
When we got there.
But anyway, so we get about, I feel like it's my 2 hour tender load, and the stomach starts to rumble. It's like, oh, it's not good. And then get a little bit further, and like, we're in the middle of Dublin. I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
None of us know where we are.
Nah. Home is just a distant memory at this point.
And I'm like, stomach rumbles again. And then, do you know that pain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of them ones when you know, do you know when you don't have any time? You've got about 30 seconds before your togs are brown.
The pain hits, and you get that kind of bead of sweat, and the panic sets in. And I obviously wasn't driving, and I go, please find a shop. So we find the most back-ass country shop in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It was like...
It was like something out of The Hills Have Eyes or something.
Like, it was like this tiny shop with petrol pumps. I was like, please go on toilets. Walked in, buy a bottle of water that I don't want. Do you have toilets? Yep, I decide. Perfect. It felt like someone's house. The whole shop. It also felt like someone's toilet. I wouldn't go into any detail. But
the thing looked like a horror. It was like something out of a horror movie when you left it, I'd say.
But when I opened the door to leave it, I was a new man.
Yeah.
I was ready to go and buy this. So then we get what felt like another 7 hours down the road from that. Pull into your man's house, pitch black at night, hop out, see the car. That was another thing. It was at his house.
Yeah, but see, right, every single detail about the purchase of this car and the car itself led all of us to believe, this was a car you were going to drive for the next
This was
3 or 4 years. Like, it was
perfect, Danny.
It looked from the outside looking in at all the details, you were like, this car cannot be bad. It has to be one of the best cars I will ever own.
Yeah.
And this is where you can never judge a book by its cover. And if it's too good to be true, if it seems too good to be true, it's definitely too good to be true.
Because I remember hopping out of the car down there at his house, and I've seen it parked up outside, and I looked. The paint was rough.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a scrape down the passenger side, I think, that it was badly touched up.
I believe he had told you about it before you left, though.
Probably, yeah. Paint wasn't great anyway. Looked around and I was like, paint, fairly bad. There was no rust, though. It was just like, it was just marks and bits of dents.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a family car. It had been his family car. It was a PD100 Highline. So it had the full black heated leather interior.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful interior.
Very nice.
Look around it. He hadn't cleaned it at all. It is what it is. It was probably less than 1,000 euro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly sure it had tests. It would have had tests.
Yeah, it would have.
So hop out anyway. Have a look around it. Man comes out, brings me inside, shows me all of this history. Flicks through all the pages. You've got all the NCT passes, all the fails, all the stuff he's put into it. Tells me all the work he's done into it recently. Perfect. This can't go. Get into the car. Give him whatever it was. I've actually no idea how much I got for it, how much I spent on that car.
I don't know, but whatever it was, you would have given double.
1,100 euros is in my head for some reason.
Yeah, you would have happily, at that point, paid double for that car.
It was 100% less than $2,000. And I think it was above 1,000. Could be wrong. So get into the car and start driving home. And what becomes immediately apparent is every single window fogs up instantly. like can't see a thing. So I'm like, right, that's not good. So I pull into a filling station and like wipe all the windows down and start driving again. And it kind of clears up once I get a bit of heat into the car and drive down the road. And actually, the drive home was perfect. There was no problems at all.
Yeah. Other than the windows, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, the windows wasn't ideal, but that just needed a follow up.
Mhm.
That's an easy fix. So I remember, I feel like that was a Saturday. So I had a Sunday with the car. Yes, I had a Sunday with the car. This is another reason why this was a bad car. I always love, one of the first things I do with a car is I'll completely clean the inside of it out. Even if it's relatively clean
It's
out.
like a bonding experience, really.
Yeah.
I'm kind of very similar myself.
Clean the whole thing out so then it's spotless when you start driving. Brand new car, it's spotless inside. Great feeling. Open the back doors of this. Your man's kids had dropped. Buttons, jelly beans, you name it. Just was on the floor.
Generally, kids stuff.
Parents melted into the seats. So I was like, right, that's not good.
Yeah.
I think I spent about 4 hours cleaning just the back of it out. Front of it wasn't too bad. Needed a bit of a hoover. That should have been my first red flag there.
Yeah.
That this car wasn't actually looked after as well as I said.
Mm-hmm.
Got it all cleaned out anyway on the Sunday. Car is spots, mint. Can't run any worse than this. Put into work the next morning. Switch the car off. Go in, working away. One of the store men comes out to me. Your car's leaking something. Go back out. It's leaked every single drop of coolant.
The entirety of the
Everything
coolant
on the ground.
system.
So I'm right. She's like, well, I can't drive that home. So pulled her out to the garage, filled up the coolant, and started it up to see where the leak's coming from. No leak. I was like, oh,
The fuck?
okay. So then I was like, right. Drive her home. Stop at home. Switch the car off. Empty the clean bottle again. Now, a smart man at this point would have fixed it.
Yes.
But
We are not smart men, Dan.
water's free. So it was just a constant cycle of driving to work, emptying the coolant bottle, driving home from work, emptying the coolant bottle, and just constantly filling it again.
Yeah, but you have to make it clear now, right? Just because in case somebody doesn't pick up on it. He wasn't intentionally emptying the coolant bottle.
No, this was doing it itself.
The
And
car-
it never leaked a drop while running. And I can't remember. I did actually end up fixing because, believe it or not, it gets pretty annoying having to fill up your entire coolant system every single time you want to start the car.
Mhm.
I can't remember what the part was, but I did fix it. And then after that, remember there was the mad radio, the really rare radio.
There actually, did you know what? That was the first and only time I ever seen one of them radios. It was like, correct me if I'm wrong. There was like it was like a screen in the middle with like a heap of buttons, but the screen you could
Really
like,
swiveled.
yeah, you could move the screen around. Like it
Yeah.
literally like you could push one corner in and
Yeah, the other corner pop out. Yeah.
mental. And it had options on it that were like I have never even heard of.
But couldn't pick up an Irish radio station.
Yeah, well, sure. Like I'm sure you learned German that week.
Yeah, efficient in German actually.
Guten Tag.
But yeah, so the radio didn't actually work on it. So no, it did work with an FM transmitter.
Mhm.
I remember it did have radio in it.
Mm-hmm. You ended up
It
flogging that onto somebody as well.
gave
didn't
me
you?
nothing but problems. Like, I might as well have got that folder of receipts and threw it out the window because he might as well have never even serviced the car.
Actually, here's one for you, right? And this is a question I have never asked until now, and I'm actually genuinely curious. Are you entirely sure that those receipts were for that car?
No.
She could have been
The
just.
only proof that I really had was on the outside of the ring binder, it said the reg.
So that folder full of receipts could have literally been.
From anything. They could have been in shopping for all I know. I never actually looked at them. Why would you look at them?
Like, very true. Yeah, it says it on the outside. It's like if you pick up allegedly some drugs or something and just throw a sticker on the outside of it, been like, these are not drugs. The guard will just look at them and be like, oh, that's not drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is actually how this car linked into the first bar car that I mentioned in this podcast.
Mhm.
Because I eventually got sick of this car one wet evening. And I sold it.
Yeah.
And then that came to I've got no car now.
Yeah. And
Then I bought the silver Bora.
which then led to the silver. What now, right? And this is right. This is a little bit it's not unrelated, but just out of curiosity, in your own opinion, what is worse, the silver Bora or the Passat with about that much service history?
The silver Bora, because I listed the Passat and I sold it the same day.
Okay, fair.
I think I had that Bora in my yard for months.
It was way too long. It nearly got to the point where he was going to burn it in his own yard.
It was going for the scrap, and then eventually I think someone bought it off me for €200, and it was gone. And I would, every time I see a silver Bora for sale on Facebook now, I check the reg.
What's that? Yeah.
It's wishful thinking, because that is 100% a coke can right now.
What's absolutely mental though is, right, I've only ever owned one Bora, and I'm only saying this is not one of my cars, right? It's purely because the sight of a silver Bora sickens this man to this day. But I've only ever owned one Bora in my lifetime, and it was a silver Bora Sport PD130. That car was brilliant. I couldn't fall, and by right, I only owned it for less than a week, that definitely would have made it onto one of my good car lists. It probably should have, but
yeah,
I very rarely remember it. But anyway, which leads me on to you're finished speaking about your Passat.
Finish about my Passat.
Sweet, right? So we're on to my last car of this list, which is my second good car.
And in this car, in my head, this car is more famous than the Bora Buster.
Yeah, it's a very tough one now. I'd say whichever one is more famous is definitely a very close call.
Yeah.
So this one, again, needs very little introduction. I know it as the Booby Bus simply because of the reg. It was 04DL8008. And if anybody's as childish as I am, you remember the calculators in school when you type in 8008 and turn it around and be like, ha, boob. One of them ones. So I called it the Booby Bus. This was a black, I believe.
Was it not blue?
No, it was black.
It was black.
It was black.
Yes.
It was a black B6 Audi A4. Now, some of the details on this car I may be a little bit hazy on. I believe it was a PD130.
I think it was.
PD130. It was mapped to about 180, 190. All the bells and whistles that you would want on an Audi A4, the B6 Audi A4. It had AVA Miamis. Were they Miamis? I believe they were Miamis, but they were all concave. All four of them were concave. Thing was beautiful. It was sitting on its arse, which the end of this story is exactly why I got rid of it. But sitting on it, the thing was beautiful. Black car, big 19-inch, all concave silver wheels, silver or chrome mirror covers. The thing was beautiful, right? I ended up making the brutal mistake of, now I'm very lucky that I had everything on this car at the point, but I thought to myself one day, this car is missing something, it needs a sticker, right? Whatever wild idea came upon me, I went and I got a sticker made up. Now bear in mind, this is a black car, it's very dark, right? You've got tints all over it. Massive, taking up the full length of the windscreen, the very top said scumbag in bold white lettering, right? And directly under that, in like small squiggly dark writing, it was like a dark blue, said developments. So the sticker itself said scumbag developments, but as the car is driving past you at night, it just looks like it's a big massive scumbag. Now, I later found out that is, if you want to get pulled in a car, get that sticker. I got ripped out of that car. More days, I swear to God. The Garda knew me on a first name basis after me driving that car. It just screamed pull me like. But that car, I can't actually remember that car giving me any problem. You might be able to remember.
No, I can't remember why you sold it.
No, I sold it. I tell you, actually, the car gave me one problem, and it turned out to be a major problem. It wasn't a major problem, but it turned out to be the entire reason why I got rid of the car. So, if anybody's familiar with Audis, you'll know that there's a dog mount.
Oh, yes.
Right? Which is basically, it's like an engine mount, but it's part of the gearbox and it's directly under the car, right? And what annoys me about this is the fact that, right, I was so slick one evening. I was heading out the Kells Road out of Ardee, and there was a car, and I came flying up. There was another boy racer in front of me, and I came flying up behind him. This car was fucking rapid.
Yeah.
I know it was only 180, 190, but back then, them cars were rapid, like.
Yeah.
So I came flying up behind this car, proceeds to go out around this car, and as the two wheels on the driver's side of my car enter into the opposite lane of traffic, and the centre of my car comes across the cat's eyes in the middle. Now, this will just show you how low this car was. All I hear is a boom. I'm like, what? And straight away, my gear stick just starts doing bits, like just doing its own thing. It was like fucking doing the cha-cha slider or something in the middle of the car. And I'm like, what the fuck is after happening here? And so there's me thinking I was slick, actually turned out to look like a complete bollocks. Because I went to overtake this car at speed, ended up pulling out, caught the dog mount on the cat's eyes, and I had gathered that much momentum that I was able to come up alongside this car, fully young fellas, right? And then just started to like gradually drop back because the car wouldn't go anywhere. It had stopped accelerating. The momentum brought me alongside them. We looked at each other and they continued on and I didn't. And I did go back on that road for the following couple of days looking for that dog mount. I soon found how hard it is. There is 3 or 4 different types of dog mounts for that exact car. And I think I got 2 of them. And I couldn't get them close. I had to get them delivered. I had to get them posted. I got 2 of them and they were fucking wrong. And in the end, I ended up just selling the car for a fraction of what I paid it for. And yeah, the car just broke my heart. But that was definitely one of the best cars that I've ever owned. And I blame all these, what would you even do, the parts people of Audi? What would you call them? The people who designed that dog mount. If I ever find out, right, if somebody can get me the name of who designed that dog mount in Audi, if they can get me the name and address of that man, I will literally jab the nose off. I swear to God. I hate that man.
So we move on to my final good car.
Yes.
And the car itself, locally, I think doesn't need much of an introduction. Not particularly based on me. People don't really know me, but they will know the car. So this is a car that a couple of years ago I had E11s and stuff like that, and made a decision that it was time to get my first proper Jap car. And I like Toyota, kind of like Hondas, but unfortunately Civics can't be insured at whatever age I was, 23, 24, whatever, what car.
Mm-hmm.
So I had looked at these cars before and I thought it'd be important. And they're an AE111GT Corolla. So what they are is basically, it's the exact same as an Irish saloon E11 Corolla. Exact same body. Can bolt every single part, bonnet, bumpers, wings, everything off it, and it will bolt straight onto my car. But everything that's on my car, bonnets, bumpers, and wings, are completely different. What makes this car special is it came with a 1.5 engine, but you can also get them, which is what my car has, with a 1.6 4AGE 20 valve blacktop, which is more famously known to come in 11s, and what people pull down 11s and put into their AE86s. So I had seen this car before and I thought this was the coolest car that I'd ever seen.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does look cool. You'll see it in the photo.
And I like different cars.
Sorry, you're going to have to excuse me again after one.
I like being able to pull into a car show or a car meet, and I know that this is the only one that's going to be there. Now, someone else has bought another one since, but as far as I know, and someone can correct me, but as far as I know from the information that I've got from other people, there is only 2 of them currently in the country. And at the time of buying mine, there was only 1. So I knew when before the other person had bought his, and fair play, his car is a lovely car. I've seen it at other car meets before, and it's a nice car. It's white, mine's silver, so they're different, and doesn't matter. And the thing with my one is, they're more commonly, I think there might be a 1.5 AFE in the country, but mine's 1.6, black top, 20 valve. Got it completely standard. There hadn't been anything done to the car. Standard suspension, standard engine, standard exhaust, standard everything. And then I got it and ruined it, what some people would say. I've put trumpets, I've put...
I wouldn't say ruined though, because the trumpets definitely add something to it.
Some people will say ruined, but when I bought this car, I got this car very cheap at the time. But when I bought this car, I said, this is a special car. This car is not getting cheap parts.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first things I bought for it were silvers coilovers. And I did a lot of research between BCs and silvers, which is what I could get locally. And the silvers were coming out slightly better, slightly more expensive. But I made a decision. I was like, right, silvers it is. They were over €1,000. Then I went and I found someone that was really good at making full custom stainless exhaust. Got the full custom stainless exhaust, put a genuine HKS back box on it, no corners were cut. I then went, put trumpets onto it, I put put upgraded HT leads into it. I've done another couple of small bits into it. I've put a nice fancy personal steering wheel into it. Quick release, all the nice bits.
Very beautiful car.
There's still some other bits that need to go into it. I want to put a light and flywheel, maybe a stage 2 clutch, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter now. It doesn't get daily driven, so it can get what it wants now. The only problem is finding time and finding money.
Mm-hmm.
But the car, everywhere it goes, turns heads because it's not seen.
It's sometimes it's undervalued and unappreciated. If people see this car and they think it's just another E11 Corolla,
And then they hear it.
And they're like, oh shit.
Because the trumpets, and I've also got a sticker. And if you've ever seen it at a car show, the bonnet's always up because the engine is what makes the car.
Mm-hmm.
So
to see people scratching their heads looking at this bonnet, looking under this bonnet thinking...
I had to get a sticker made up that I've put under the bonnet that says, yes, it's factory. Because every car show, every car meet I went to, look at the bonnet, you get someone, oh, how'd you put the engine in? What engine's that? Where'd you get the engine from? Don't know, how fast on Japan.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the car, because it's not the cleanest car in the world. Paint isn't the cleanest car in the world. And I'd love to down the line get it painted, but I like being able to
use it.
I will put that car, have put that car, and will in the future put that car on track in Mondello.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I went to spend $6 or $7 and
you'd be afraid to.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
I'm already terrified on track, because if I crash that on track, I can only go to Japan to get bumpers,
mm-hmm.
or grill, or bonnet, or wings. It's the only place I can get to Japan. But the way I look at it is, them cars,
they were built to be used.
They were built to be used. I could park it in the shed and I could never look at it, or I could never take it out, or I could only bring it out on sunny days.
Yeah.
Never let it see track. But what's the point?
As the man says, right? Now, this is a very brutal but honest comparison. It's like you're not riding your girlfriend because you don't want to use her, so you're going to save it for the next man. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's pretty much that. And it's the kind of thing you always see people, and look, I understand cars are getting more expensive. So when you go out and you spend $25,000 with PS13, $35,000 on a Chaser, you don't want to bring that to Mondello and bring it round and have some lad in his absolutely wrecked 318i quarry, because like nobody wants that.
No.
But then I think the event that Juicebox done during the summer to Oshidori, ended up not going to it. I wasn't able to get down. That is perfect for that kind of thing, because every car that was on track, like, I'm sick that I missed it. Every car that was on track was top level. All old 90s Japanese liveries. Like, it was perfect.
Sounds like a wet dream.
But that's the thing. Them cars were built to be made.
Built to be made.
Yeah, they were built to be made too, because they were built to be used.
Yep.
Like,
definitely. Like, it personally, it doesn't make much. Now, I do understand a lot of instances where people will spend outrageous money on a car just to park it in a shed and just to look at it. And personally, I think that's the way that I would be inclined. Is just watch that cable there. It's not charged. Like, personally, I think that if I was to spend 20 or 30 grand on a car, right, or even 10 grand on a car, nice Japanese import, I don't feel like I would drive it too often, and I more than likely definitely wouldn't put it on a track either. I've put that much money into it. Yes, I'd drive it. Yes, I'd appreciate it. But personally, I don't think I would put it on a track for the reason that if it does get ruined, you know. So I can understand why some people.
I definitely understand that, and it's because they're so expensive. Like, and it comes and goes, because 10, 15, 20 years ago, when you could go out and you could buy an A86 for less than €1,000, you could buy a PS13 for £5,000. They became disposable.
Yep.
Which was great at the time, because people were using the cars for what they're meant to be used.
Exactly.
Just like all the great videos from Port Road and Waterford and stuff like that. That still goes on a little bit now. But then what that ended up leaving us is...
You've got Mallow Raceway as well. I believe it was it Mallow?
I think it was. Carroll, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, something.
But what ended up... It was great. They got used for what they're meant to be used for. But then what happened is now there's none of them left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
which then in turn drives the price of them up.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my silver Corolla.
Yeah.
One of my favourite cars that I probably will ever own and will never sell.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever part with that car.
Because if I was to sell it, I'd only ever regret. Like, everything that's done in the car was done by me, for me. It's got the P1s. I love the P1s. I'd love to put some small 15-inch Watanabes on it down the line. Yeah. But I love the white on silver. It's a perfect look for it at the minute. Yeah,
it definitely is. But yeah, that was our take on our 4 cars.
Well, you had 4 bad cars.
No, go fuck yourself, pal. Listen, right? I don't care what anybody says. I will literally spar any man who says that a K11 Micra is not the best built car in the world. And that's an open invite. That was definitely one of my best cars. I don't care what anybody says.
But yeah, that was our K. That was our very first episode 1 done.
Yes, thank God. It's good to get the first one over us, because like all of this is brand new to us, right?
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be polished. Hopefully it sounds good. Maybe it won't.
Yep.
But we put as much research into this at the start as we could.
Yep.
We put as much research into the microphones we got, the software, to try and give it its best chance at succeeding. And we've also given ourselves... You are getting 52 episodes of this, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you have no option, like.
So we're giving ourselves 52 episodes, and in 52 weeks, we're going to come back. So on the 17th of January, in around that time, 2027.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, 2027. We're going to sit down and we're going to reevaluate.
We're either going to be smashing up some microphones and cameras in this shed.
That could happen in about 15 minutes.
It more than likely will, but it can't be for reasons that, for one, the camera is being filmed on my phone, and so we can't smash that one up.
Yeah.
The microphones, I feel like the microphones are working, so they can't be smashed. But yeah,
that's how we went, and our plan for next week's episode is everybody everybody in the country, this doesn't even apply to car enthusiasts. Everyone in the country buys cars.
Mm-hmm.
They bought a car off Done Deal, off Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. They've sold a car on Done Deal or Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
It's
don't
like the
even.
second someone clicks into Facebook Marketplace, all their brain cells just gone.
Yeah, it's like,
Is this still available? Yes.
yeah,
Never to be heard from again.
not like, what's your best price? Fucking, oh, do you know what it is? And do you know what it is? It's the mad, and I can't even really complain about this because I know some lads that do this. You'll have a car up for $2,000, and some of the boys there will send, like, they'll just type €400 and send. That, like, the asking price is $2,000. Like, I don't know where boys get the neck to do that, but having that done to you is, it's so raging.
But
like,
you've got a car and you're like, right, it's time to sell it now.
yeah.
It's the worst experience.
Ah,
Like, I don't think I've ever had a good experience with selling the car.
nah, never.
Because every single time you're going to have at least one or two people that's just going to text you for the sake of texting.
So we're going to delve into that topic.
And you've got a good story.
I've got a few good stories.
You've got a great one about not even selling or buying a car, but swapping a car.
Listen,
Does it even count as a swap?
I'm not sure if it counts as a swap because I feel like this exchange of vehicles was happening whether I wanted it to or not. I had no choice. I felt like when I pulled up, I felt like I had a choice. By the end of it, I was fucking hoodwinked into taking this car. Your man, I don't know if it was a swap or a robbery. I'm not sure, but I had no option in this whatsoever. So yeah, we're going to delve into that next week.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening.
And another thing is, if anyone listens to this, if anyone of 3 people listens to it,
Yes.
one of you wants us to answer a question,
Mhm.
we've got the Red Line Republic podcast on
Instagram,
Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok. Instagram's probably easier for us to reach out on.
Yep.
We've also got, if I'm going to be really formal, we've got Red Line Republic podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah,
You can send
Jesus.
us an email if you want.
Yeah, send us in a CV there for the buzz.
None of us can read, so someone to come in to translate English for us.
Yeah.
But send us your questions in. What do you want us to talk about?
Mhm.
What opinions do you want us to give? Is there something in the car scene
That needs to be spoke about.
or is there something in the car scene that you love that needs to be spoken about?
Yeah.
Or do you want to tell us that we're a pack of fucking idiots?
Yeah, well, preferably send that in an email because we won't check them once. But yeah,
yeah. Send the idiot one as an email.
yeah. So yeah, that was our very first episode. Obviously, right, with everything, and I'm trying to convince myself this. Like, I'm a window tinter. Well, my bread and butter is window tints, and so the very first window that I tinted was absolutely terrible. Whereas.
Let's go on
No, we're not. No, that's it. No. That's a story for a different time now. We will get into that. We've got 52 episodes to get. I know exactly what I was about to say. But anyway, the very first window that I ever tinted was absolutely terrible. And now I'm banging out full cars in like 2 hours. And they're perfect, right? And so things take time to take practice. And so this is our very first episode. Yes, it's going to be raw. Yes, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be things we can get better at. But that's going to come with time and with experience.
And we want to hear you. We don't just want to hear a comment of, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, sure.
Look, if you want to say that, say that. But if you have something that, like, oh, don't talk about this for so long.
Mhm.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Or could you talk about this instead?
Yeah,
Take it on.
helpful criticism. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for listening. And we hope that you listen to our next one as well, and the following 50. But yeah, ciao for now. See you for the week. Thanks for calling.